In fact, let's get you some more breaking news coming in at this hour. Well, big breaking developments. In fact, just today before the PM's arrival in Myanmar on the 5th, the Special Forces of Indian Army Surgical Strike Team conducts special operations near the Indo-Myanmar border. NSCN militant has been shot dead. Another has been injured in an ongoing operation in Longding District of Arunachal Pradesh near the Indo-Myanmar border. An Indian Army soldier has been injured, but the operation is still on. Ashish Singh is joining us with more details. Ashish, take us through the breaking updates emerging from Myanmar, and this is significant given that it comes just 48 hours before the Prime Minister is to arrive in Myanmar.
Well, that's right, Uday. It's a big breaking news coming here on NewsX. Just not even 48 hours, around tomorrow around evening, I'm told, when Prime Minister Modi will be landing in Myanmar, and just approximately 30 hours prior to Prime Minister Modi's arrival in Myanmar, the Indian Army's Special Forces have conducted a strike. It is not a surgical strike, but it's pretty close to, it's near Indo-Myanmar border, pretty close to the location where Indian Army technically conducted its first ever surgical strike near the Indo-Myanmar border. I'm told that the Indian Army Special Forces teams have conducted this operation. One NSCN Khaplang terrorist has been killed. Another NSCN Khaplang terrorist has been severely injured. Unfortunately, there is one Indian Army soldier also have suffered few injuries, although he has been evacuated to the nearest army hospital. But this is the details that we are getting for our viewers. Just 30 hours, approximately 30 hours prior to Prime Minister Modi's arrival in Myanmar, the Indian Army Special Forces, remember, Special Forces are the ones who conduct the surgical strike. There are different units of Special Forces, but this particular strike is not a surgical strike, but it has happened pretty close to Indo-Myanmar border. There was an intelligence-based input on which the Indian Army acted. It basically created an ambush, and during the relocation of the ambush, the firefighting began with the NSCN Khaplang terrorists between them and the Indian Army Special Forces. That's exactly is when the NSCN Khaplang terrorist has been shot dead. Another one is injured. One Indian Army soldier has suffered injuries. As we speak, the operation is on. The operation is still underway, although the major part, the firefighting part, has almost been completed. But the later part of the operation, which basically is ensuring that there is no NSCN Khaplang or any other supporters of this terror organization are available, present in this particular area of, I'm told this area is in Arunachal Pradesh, in the district called Longding. Longding is the district of Arunachal Pradesh near Indo-Myanmar border. It's an extremely significant operation. As I mentioned, just 30 hours prior to Prime Minister Modi's arrival in Myanmar, the Indian Army Special Forces conducting this operation is a big move. Remember, these are the forces who have conducted surgical strike, both in Pakistan and in Myanmar as well. But this particular strike, I'm told the base of the terror camp of NSCN was just inside Indian boundary. It is just few hundred meters away from Indian-Myanmar border, and that's exactly where this operation has been conducted. The Myanmar army or their security forces at the intelligence level or the top level were kept in loop, but not with the local forces involvement of Myanmar. The Indian Army Special Forces have conducted this strike. Uday?
Of course, this militant group, if we can just talk about a bit of a backgrounder for our viewers, Ashish. The NSCNK has been responsible for insurgency in that area. So this is, of course, a big achievement for our security forces.
Well, it certainly is. NSCN is, it has various factions, and Khaplang is one of the most active factions of the NSCN group that basically is Nationalist Social Council of Nagaland, which has Khaplang is one leader of NSCN-K faction on whose name the entire torture, the extortion racket is run by these terrorists, the armed rebellions which basically have been going on for quite some time, for more than a decade in these areas. I'm told this exactly is just 200 meters away from Indo-Myanmar border. As we speak, I'm getting a few more updates from our sources in the Eastern Command. The DGMO was directly involved in the entire operation. He was kept in loop in coordination with the Eastern Command. And as I mentioned, it was extremely important when you have the Prime Minister landing in a foreign country and at the border of near border of that particular country, if your special forces conduct an operation and manage to kill terrorists, it certainly requires a lot of intelligence, preparation, and on-ground situation handling. And that's exactly what the Indian Army Special Forces have managed to done in a very productive manner. I'm also told that the Indian Army soldier who suffered injuries in this operation have been taken to the nearest army hospital, although yes, we have the name of the army hospital, but keeping the security aspect in mind, we would not like to reveal the exact name of the hospital where the security force, Indian Army Special Force soldier has been brought. But this certainly is a big news. The team, the SF team, the Special Forces team of Indian Army. Remember, SF forces are involved only in extremely important operations. They are not involved in...
Just stay on with us, Ashish. I want to quickly get in Lieutenant Raj Kadian as well, a strategic affairs analyst who's joining us on NewsX. Lieutenant Kadian, your reaction to this news coming in and, of course, the significance of it, given that it comes just, about 30 hours before the Prime Minister lands in Myanmar.
Yeah, first a little update on the Nagaland various factions of the underground. There were two factions, NSCN, IM. IM stands for Isaac Su and Muiwa. They were led by these two. Otherwise, NSCN K. K stands for Khaplang.
Yeah.
The first group had accepted a ceasefire on 1st August 1997, which is still in operation. So there are no operations being carried out inside Nagaland, IM group being the more dominant. But the Khaplang group had not accepted a ceasefire. They are camping across the border in Burma, not in collaboration with the Burmese army, but they don't have control in northern part of Burma. Jungles are too thick. So this is an operation. The Khaplang people come and lay an ambush. They had laid an ambush about a year and a half ago on Dogra Battalion, where we lost 17 boys. Then we carried out an operation that was against this Khaplang group, which has not accepted the ceasefire. So this operation, as you are saying, close to the border, normally there is a coordination between the border commanders of India and Burma, which would have been carried out because this has repercussions. But about 200 meters inside is not much of a problem. Operation still going on. We have killed one of the... They must be planning an ambush on our convoys, which we got the report. So this is a good operation done by the security forces. One boy is injured. He's been evacuated to the nearest medical aid post. It may not be a regular hospital. Finally, they'll fly him out to Jorhat or some other place. So this operation is going on. This is a normal thing that the Indian Army does whenever they get intelligence before waiting for the underground elements to strike. This is a preemptive strike, which is a good thing. That is how the security forces should operate, and I'm sure the coordination with the Burmese army would have been carried out.
Indeed, and it is significant given the fact that, Lieutenant Kadian, there will presumably be talks on counter-terrorism, operations between the two countries and on how to take forward our security partnership when Prime Minister Modi lands in Myanmar to have talks with his counterpart. So it is significant that this development is taking place. And it's a massive win, of course, for our security forces. But it will also probably be a point of discussion in how we can take this forward so that we can ensure more casualties on the militant side.
I don't think the Indian Army would have initiated to coincide with the Prime Minister's visit. On the contrary, the K group might have tried to launch an operation or may have launched an operation. We don't know the details as yet. To embarrass the Indian Prime Minister, that is a possibility. But yes, there is a coordination between the two armies to carry out this kind of operation. As I said in the beginning, that this K group is camping in Burma not because of the agreement or collaboration with the Burmese army, but because they don't have control. They are not so effective in the northern part of Burma where the jungles are very thick, the roads are very few. It's an underdeveloped area. So Indian Army naturally wouldn't do anything which could cause any embarrassment at the time of the visit, but the Khaplang group can very well do it and they might have done it.
Well, certainly, General Kadian, how do you see this operation being conducted just 24 hours before Prime Minister Modi's arrival in Myanmar. It certainly is a big success because what I'm told by the sources in the Eastern Command and in DGMO that there was an ambush led by the Indian Army SF units, and only after specific int-based input this kind of operation was conducted. Do you see any connection with Prime Minister Modi's arrival in Myanmar just 24 hours from now and the Indian Army SF units conducting?
For our security forces along the Indo-Myanmar border, in fact in Arunachal to be specific. It's happened just a day before Prime Minister Modi's arrival in Myanmar on the 5th. The special forces of the Indian Army Surgical Strike Team conducting special operations near the Indo-Myanmar border. The in fact, one NSCN militant has been shot dead in that operation. Another has been injured in that ongoing operation there. Unfortunately, one Indian Army soldier has been injured in this incident. Remember, as I said, the operation is currently on. Let's get in further details from Ashish Singh, who's still live with us. Ashish, clearly, of course, that operation is still underway. This is a significant development, but it is a continuing operation.
That's right. A major portion of this operation has been completed. That's what I've been informed by the sources in the Eastern Command and in the DGMO. What we have been told is that the operation began today early morning, and one of the units, we will not reveal the name of the Special Forces unit that conducted the operation. One of the units of Indian Army Special Force led an ambush. While the ambush was being relocated, this ambush was based on the specific intelligence input of presence of few terrorists. And once that happened, during the relocation of the ambush party of the Indian Army Special Forces, the terrorists got to know about the movement, and that's when exactly they fired upon the Indian Army Special Force unit. In the entire operation that lasted for close to a couple of hours, the main part, the firefighting, the gun battle that started today early morning, one NSCN Khaplang terrorist has been killed, another NSCN Khaplang terrorist has been injured, but unfortunately one Indian Army soldier has suffered injuries. We don't know if that soldier is serious or there are minor injuries, but this is a confirmed news we are getting from our sources in Indian Army that one Indian Army soldier has suffered injuries. As we speak, the entire area is being sanitized to ensure that there is no presence of any more NSCN Khaplang terrorists in that area. Now, this is a significant news break because just approximately 30 hours from now, Prime Minister Modi is landing in Myanmar. This operation by the SF of Indian Army has been conducted just few hundred meters away from Indo-Myanmar border. For keeping these two aspects in mind, it's an extremely important news break. What kind of intelligence was shared? What were these terrorists planning? All of these details are not out yet. Considering the Indian Army SF soldiers are involved, it has to be done by the local commander and also by keeping the DGMO in loop. And that's exactly what we have learned, that the top officers of Indian Army were kept in loop about this entire operation. And as we speak, as I mentioned there, the operation is still on, but it's just the sanitization process of the area where the operation has been conducted, just few hundred meters away from the Indo-Myanmar border. Remember, it's the exact location where technically the first surgical strike was conducted by the Indian Army Special Forces. It was conducted in Myanmar just after the Indo-Myanmar border. The Pakistan surgical strike was technically the second surgical strike that was conducted. But this is an important news break. Prime Minister Modi, just 30 hours prior to Prime Minister Modi's arrival in Myanmar, Indian Army SF conducting this special operation, killing one NSCN Khaplang terrorist, injuring the other one. One Indian Army soldier has suffered injuries. The exact location, we are told, is in Arunachal Pradesh in the Longding District. This is the exact area where this operation was conducted, and it was just few hundred meters away from Indo-Myanmar border. As we speak, we are getting few more information from our sources in the Eastern Command and from the Army headquarters, and what they are telling us is basically this operation was based on specific intelligence input. It was not a random operation. Remember, whenever a special force unit is involved of Indian Army, it has to be an extremely important operation, and that's the reason why the SF unit was involved in this particular operation. We can't reveal the exact unit of the SF of Indian Army. Uday?
Absolutely. And of course, remember, Ashish, further details are awaited as you were telling us, but it will be, of course, interesting to note as to whether this was conducted after cooperation from the Myanmari forces as well, whether the Myanmar security agencies were also in touch with the Indian Army and shared intelligence, which led to the successful operation which has eliminated an NSCN militant in the area. And of course, it is significant given the fact that there will be security and the counter-terror mechanisms discussed in Prime Minister Modi's visit tomorrow.
That's right. This operation will certainly have some indirect effect on Prime Minister Modi's and the entire Indian delegation's security aspect that's going to begin tomorrow. Remember, Prime Minister Modi is going to embark on a 3-day visit to Myanmar starting tomorrow evening once he finishes his bilateral meetings and the multilateral meetings with the BRIC member country leaders. He will quickly depart from for Myanmar tomorrow on board Air India 1. Once that happens, certainly the security will become a crucial aspect now. As we speak, the intelligence agencies must be on the job to find out what was the exact planning of this terrorist organization. We don't know at this stage whether there was some kind of cooperation or intelligence or military in military operation from Myanmar side or not. But what we know that it was an intelligence-based specific operation, and that's the reason why Indian Army SF was involved. Generally, the infantry and the other aspects of Indian Army take care of these kind of operation. But whenever the SF unit of Indian Army is involved, it certainly is extremely important, sensitive, and intelligence-based operation.
Indeed. We'll have to leave it at that for the time being, Ashish. Thanks for joining us.